With that being said, though, we're going to kick off our first afternoon session here. Obviously, I don't think he really needs an introduction other than Randy Jacobs is up next, and he's going to talk a little bit about on our partners over the years and lead into our next speaker. So,
thank you, RJ. And like it's been said several times again, thank everybody for coming out and taking time out of your day to join us. I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces, and it's great. The crowd is tremendous, and I couldn't be happier to stand up here and see everybody here, I can tell you that. And for those of you that don't know, Paul Jr. talked about generation and how this younger generation really doesn't like to work. But there's two young fellas that are in here today, and I'm sure there's more, that's total opposite. A week ago, RJ spent 2 days at a conference in Columbus at Kalmbach's conference. And he's been telling me he wanted Paul Jr. to come and speak for quite some time, but my wife and I, semi-retired, my wife's fully retired. I've been in Florida for the last 3 months. I got home Tuesday, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if everything was going to be arranged. I figured it would be. I thought everything was in good hands. And I get home and I said, well, what do we need to do? He said, Dad, what do you mean? Everything is done. Everything is ready. I said, you mean I don't have to do anything? Nope, just show up, Dad. So that speaks a lot for this generation that we're talking about. And a lot of times we don't think they work. And I've said to people just since visiting here last evening and today, I really never knew how much RJ was paying attention. Was he paying attention? He was a kid that was outside. He would come to the barn a lot. He showed the horses. But I still really never knew if he paid attention. And over the last few years, I started giving him more responsibility. And we know he was a delivery boy. He worked in the warehouse. He was a salesman for me. And then we brought him inside. And to come home and find everything in good hands, I know he's had help. We talk about team. The team and I've told everybody, if I didn't have the team around me, you people, all of you, all my staff, we wouldn't be where we are today. But him in charge and the team that he has prepared all this again for us. So I couldn't be prouder of my son. I know my wife says the same thing. We're very, very proud of him. And like I said, I believe last year, I'm not going away. I'm still here. And we talked every day, if not once, maybe a dozen times every day. I'm like, RJ, I'm in the middle of a pickleball game. Please call me later. And he's like, Dad, when you get a minute, would you please call me back? So we still communicate all the time. And it's just been great. We've been able to relax and enjoy. And with that, I talk about, the partners that we've had. And a lot of you know, kind of how it all got started. Years ago when I bought DAC, going on 16 years now. And there's dealers in here. I know Reuben Miller brought up some old pamphlets to me last night and shared with me when he became a dealer, practically when the company started. And there's other dealers in here the same way. But when I came on board as an owner, I wanted to take DAC to the next level. And I told all of you, I'm not going to change the world. I don't want to turn it upside down. I want it to continue to grow and flourish and serve you people. And, I was still feeding and training horses at the time. And so it's definitely, again, we've set another record in 2023, and we're on track right now to set another record again. It's amazing. But again, it's all about the team, the people all of us have surrounded ourselves with. We're very fortunate and very blessed, all of us that are here today. But when I came on, like I said, we had some situations that I really wasn't sure how to get taken care of, and that led me into my all-tech relationship there with Dr. Lyons and Russell. And I got in contact with Dr. Duran, and next thing you know, we get in contact with Tanya, Performance Horse Nutrition. And we've been so fortunate to be involved with Performance Horse Nutrition and to have their expertise. I think Tanya's probably done meetings for just about all of you in here, the dealers that are in here. Her knowledge. She's a great speaker. Her talk earlier today, was tremendous. I still today love to sit and listen to her talk and learn something every time. But, they brought us to Kemen. just all of our partners along the way. They introduce us to people along the way, and they know, our vision is to continue to not only grow, but educate and keep us at the leading edge, at the top of our game. And everybody knows, I showed horses for a living. I'm a very competitive person. My son was involved in sports. He's very competitive. I'm playing pickleball now, and I got to win the damn pickleball game, So my wife, there's times she say, can't we quit competing all the time? But again, I want to take it to the next level. RJ wants to take it to the next level, and he's sure on his way to doing so. He has surrounded himself now with Paul Kalmbach Jr., and I respect them so much. And, the quality behind us, if you guys ever get a chance to go and visit and get a tour of the Kalmbach facility, again, you'll understand. I've always said that, about Alltech, and it's just, again, all the people and the partners that we have surrounded ourselves with, that we're very fortunate and very blessed to be involved and, to have those people backing us and beside us, working right beside us every step of the way. So we've been very, very blessed. So without continue to go on about that, and again, I just appreciate all the partners and all you people that are here. I want to talk a little bit about our next speaker, and we're so fortunate to have this speaker come along. She spoke to us, I think we're pretty sure 10, 11 years ago at DAC Days when we were still at Dutch Valley, one of the first years that I was involved. And she has started at the bottom and worked her way to the top, to the pinnacle of her industry. And I've always said, and I've talked to you people before, if I was ever to get in something else beside the quarter horse industry, it would have been the racing. It's exciting, it's competitive, and I still enjoy it every day. My wife and I spent time at her ranch in Ocala that is just beautiful. I can't describe it. When I walked in there that morning, my wife and I had goosebumps. They were training thoroughbred colts on the track. She took us up, spent time at the track with her, and just to see where she was, years ago I was at Gulfstream and spent time there. I've been to Saratoga and seen there, and to see where she's come, or where she was and how far she's came. And we talk about work and your team that you surround yourself with. I watched her team work all day, bringing horse after horse up there to the track, all of them prepped and prepared perfectly. They looked magnificent. They could have went in a show ring and showed with their hair coats and the way they looked. I was honored to be able to spend time with her. Not every day you can spend time with somebody that has just won one of the Triple Crown races in the world, and for her to win the Belmont was unbelievable. The only problem was I couldn't be there. We had plans to go on to California and watch again, and mishap happened, so the horse wasn't able to compete there. But we've watched her grow. My sister Tina, when she was a sales rep in Florida many years ago, she started sending out mass emails, just random horse farms, horse people, horse-related people, and kept sending them. And next thing you know, lo and behold, this gal replies to her email and said, maybe there's something to this information. I would like to have more information. So over the years, time went by. That happened in February. They started communicating. And then November of that same year, back in 2008, she received a phone call and met with my sister. And then we brought Tanya on board. And for the next month, they worked together, figuring out what products to use in her feed program. And finally, then in December of that year, it all started back in February, then in December of that year, she placed her first order of colt grower. And I've told people that was kind of our in to the thoroughbred industry, all through colt grower. And I don't want to steal any of her thunder or talk, but just one product got us into the industry that we end up having a gal that was the first woman ever in the history of our Triple Crown races, Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont. And she was the first lady to ever, and only lady to ever do it. And we're fortunate enough to have her come here and speak, take the time out of her busy schedule. And I always thought that, I had a busy schedule, but when you do something like she's done, her phone's ringing constantly, so I know how busy she is. And just her whole program, I've heard her talk about how DAC has been a big part of her success and her whole program. She pays attention to every fine little detail. And there was a time early on when she started working with us, I'm like, man, I sure hope we can, keep up with her needs. She's a pretty needy gal. And she's very particular and everything is so precise. And I thought, we're going to. That's my kind of person. That's me, You guys that were in a warehouse last night, you know how it's kept spotless. To her ranch in Ocala was just, it's like you drive in, trees surround the driveway, and you go out and it's a big, beautiful track. And the barns, everything's manicured. I knew it would be that way. It's just, I had literally goosebumps. And again, we are so fortunate to have Jena Antonucci, the first lady to ever win a Triple Crown race. And I'm gonna let a slide presentation go here, and then Jena will speak to us.